Hello, my name is Tarah Rayos. I am a marketing student here at St. Ambrose. And as being part of a marketing student, we need to be able to do the proper marketing research, whether it's in the United States, whether it's international. It is actually understanding what's going on in other countries and being able to be productive with what we're doing and trying to market and sell to the people. Being part of this presentation, there's a whole different ballgame when it comes to doing international marketing overall, because it's not just about the product, it's about understanding the culture and society and being able to recognize what the people want. For this presentation, I'm going to talk about how to successfully market in the country of Mexico. Being a person that's from Mexican heritage, it's kind of interesting to see the different cultures and how it is there, and then like having relatives here and the way like they like to be marketed overall. Being an international country, I mean, they have different types of imports and exports than we do. Overall, Mexico, their biggest imports are electronic equipment, machines, engines, pumps, vehicles, oil, plastics, medical equipment, iron and steel, organic chemicals, and rubber. Their biggest thing is electronic equipment, which is their biggest import. Overall, Mexicans with the internet and e-commerce is a little bit different than it is here. They aren't as Not saying that they aren't as tech savvy, but they're more into going out and getting and being like outside and doing things as opposed to just doing things online. As opposed like in the United States, we were so heavily involved with buying things online, shopping online, the e-commerce thing. I mean, it has risen for them. For them, it's been $13.1 billion annually since 2014 has been used towards e-commerce and then people buying products online. For this, most customers seem to use the computers to do things. As like for us, like we use things on our phones, we use things on our tablets, and then our laptops, of course. But it's a little bit intriguing to see like a new technology for them, but it's also very different here to understand the different culture because we're so technology involved in the United States. Their economy is for the most part, since they are one of our bordering countries, like it's a little bit different than the United States, but we do know more about them than other countries. In the United States, or in Mexico, there is 119.7 million people. A good amount of those people aren't from a very, they have like high, middle, low class. But the thing is, like, their economic growth is growing, but they had a big downfall back in 1994, which caused them to, have bigger economic issues. And for us as marketers, you have to look at that, considering the fact that to be able to market them, they need to have some money to be able to buy our products. So overall, I mean, we need to take a look at that, understanding their culture. From some information I've done and, being part of the heritage, we're very, not saying traditional all the time, but like you're very accustomed to what you have. You're very close with your family. You talk to them all the time. Very church involved, very indulgent people. And a big part of being a marketer and like how they can be so successful, like how we can be successful towards them is due to the fact that they really are like loyal customers for the most part. If you're able to market them the right product, then you're able to keep it loyal. So if you give them what they want, we're going to be able to market to them. And I mean, Mexico is, it's our bordering country, but it is a totally different environment than we are here, just like Canada. I mean, a lot of us are like, same thing, different countries, but I mean, it's very similar as the way we need to market sometimes. Although their economic standards are not that good, I mean, they still like the same products as we do. When it comes to like makeup, when it comes to technology, I mean, a lot of people like Apple. Same thing with, when it comes to makeup, it's like CoverGirl, Maybelline, anything like that. And I mean, it's something we can utilize. And when it comes to like their needs, I mean, surprisingly, about 70% of the country of Mexico is actually obese. And for us as marketers, it's useful to help us sell healthier foods to them, to know how to go towards and, reach towards them, which relates to us as well, which kind of works together. Because, I mean, a lot of Americans actually are considered in the obese category. So if you're trying to market to Mexico, it's almost the same thing. We just have to understand the language, their standards, and what their beliefs are, which, I mean, we have to do research and meet people, and that's why marketing research is so important when it comes to international marketing as a whole. I mean, along with that, looking at the government, we have to follow and abide by their rules with their marketing and with our marketing standards towards them, and then understanding their traditions and just knowing what the standards are in different areas. It's just like here. I mean, you go to New York for the most part. I mean, there's different levels. Like there's the higher class people that go from people like Trump down to just a middle class person just like me, and being able to understand that it's not the same everywhere. That's where the misconception in international marketing comes. That's why it's interesting to see over this time that, it's not just the same everywhere we go, and there are different products that are going to give or take. And, again, coming from a different Mexican heritage, I mean, you do have a lot of the same things. I mean, my grandparents are from Mexico and across the border, and understanding their different customs and like relating to them is different than what I kind of grew up with sometimes, having, a mom that's completely white in this aspect. But being a marketing student, you have to build so many relationships through international business and understanding the outsourcing aspect. And Mexico as a whole, I mean, they are a big country. They're continuing to build, even though we've had downfalls just like we have, which is actually relatable as much as we want to think that some people are so different from a foreign country. In some aspects, yes. In some aspects, no. It's just the way you look at it. We are so heavily based on, marketing online, digital aspect. And, like, that's great. Like, we are so involved with social media and just, like, digital marketing and all this innovative stuff. But in Mexico, it's not that way. So there is, like, different aspects of looking at that. And, like, they've gone through different crises. They have the drug cartel. They have that whole big issue. Not saying that we don't in the United States, but, I mean, sometimes our connection with them isn't as strong. When it comes to the way we trade, though, Mexico is our second biggest trading country besides the country of Canada. Overall, I mean, that's kind of nice that we get to trade so well with our bordering countries. But, I mean, as we look at it, the best way to market to them based on these statistics, I mean, we have a lot of the similar aspects. They want the same things as we do. Like, they have big car, especially with car dealerships. Like, we are so heavily based on, different car dealerships everywhere, everyone having something. Well, it's almost honestly the same way there because they have big Volkswagen dealerships and Honda, etc. I mean, that aren't, American or Mexican made cars. They're foreign, Japanese, etc. And they're able to build that business and want to be alike and make money that way. So by, like, being able to market to the people and understand the culture and that everyone and everywhere can use the same car. Another big aspect is just understanding the actual people. Like, they are traditional people for the most part. I mean, there is a way to be innovative, but understanding the culture, like, Mexican culture is so strong, and the different aspects. You can't always have, like, the super nicest products. I mean, you have to, be affordable but profitable with them and make them want to be there. Like I have said before, they're extremely loyal customers for the most part. They are heavily based on indulgence. Another big aspect was, loyalty. They're loyal to their families. They're loyal to what they do, the way things work. It's the same thing with marketing. If you're able to understand them and take the time to understand them and not just think, oh, everyone's going to, be involved in the same product, it's going to be more, they're going to be more brand loyal to you. And, so say I really want to sell, CoverGirl or something, maybe show, that ethnic background and something in that place. They're a very hierarchical-based country, and, everyone has a place and something to hold. They're not just separate people from the world. Everyone can be involved and understand each other. It just takes the time through that. Even though they don't have as much technology as we do, there's a way to reach out to them. There's a way to, maybe build products that could be more affordable for, people in different countries, and understand that, just because Mexico is not as, money involved as we are, have as much money or as many people, doesn't mean that we can't relate to them. So a lot of the main points I really just wanted to reiterate was that international marketing is key. It starts with marketing research, breaking down just the little things and actually understanding people, interviewing people, any resource possible to just go out there. They have resources. They're not, they're not dumb people. They do go to college just like us. But overall, we just need to take the chance to, look at what their main imports are and be able to market those products and maybe get other countries, as popular as them, and, understand the language, not, misconstrue things and keep things more focused. The biggest thing is just really understanding the culture. It takes a lot. Like we've talked about, the iceberg thing, one thing may, you just got to understand both aspects. Like something may look good on top, on bottom, you need to understand the underlying factors and not just listen to one person. You really need to take the time to go out of your way, especially understanding like people are just like us and they can't understand our products. But, it's similar to us, but overall, just when it comes to Mexico, they are one of our biggest trading companies. You just doing the research, meeting the right, the good, people throughout the business world and what they want, and not just taking that as a different way. Like you can't just assume something. You can't just go into a company internationally and think that every product's gonna work. You need to take the time, you need to do the research, and especially in Mexico, just culture, especially. There is a lot of people, there is a lot of different aspects. Their political system isn't that great, their economic system isn't as great. So having prices there the same as it is here obviously isn't going to make sense. So overall, just again, you can't always have super nice products, but marketing to this country, having healthier products and just more affordable aspects and keeping things very traditional and not out of the way. We do a lot of business with them and we have been successful, but it takes that extra little step to, be closer with the bordering country. And that's pretty much all it takes. Thank you.